Hey, it's time for another edition of Why Are You Awake? My name is Paul Farahvar. I am your host. This week we have comedian T. Murph. Follow him everywhere on his Instagram at T. Murph. Also follow me at Paul Farahvar on Instagram. And if you're listening to this, go over to the YouTube page and you can watch it as well at youtube.com/paulfcomedy. Go to my website, paulfcomedy.com, for upcoming dates. I'm going to be touring all over the next 3 months. And also, don't forget to check out our sponsors. Hey gang, as some of you know, I used to be a practicing lawyer in Chicago. I no longer practice, but from time to time, I need a lawyer. And when I need a lawyer, I call my friend Scott Shapiro. Scott Shapiro has been practicing law for over 25 years in Chicago. He does it all, from workers' compensation to personal injury, employment issues, and even entertainment law and contract needs. If you need a lawyer, call my friend Scott. 312-648-8800. That's 312-648-8800. Or you can email him at scott@scottshapirolegal.com. Tell him I sent you. Hey, it's time for Why Are You Awake? Paul Farahvar here, your host. This week we have one of the most greatest, hilariousest, most comedians in Chicago, from Chicago, traveling all over now, T. Murph.
Hey, what's up, Paul?
Thanks for doing the podcast, T.
Thank you, Paul.
I got a great story for you to start this podcast. I don't know if you saw this, but I have a friend who sent me, it was my birthday, and they sent me a post from you about the Paul billboard recently. And I was so tired, I woke up, and I thought it was you. I was like, oh, that's funny, T. And I wrote it back.
Yeah.
And then 2 days later, I'm like, oh, that was just some random person that follows you that is one of my good friends that I didn't, unfortunately, tell her about you.
Yeah.
And she's forwarded me that. I'm like, I know him.
Yeah.
She's like, oh my God, he's my favorite. I'm like, that motherfucker is in town here in Chicago with me. That's how big you are right now. You're getting into my market. There's no, that's crazy.
Dude, thank you, man.
And I thought it was you. I was like, oh wow, T's so nice to remember my birthday. And you fucking forgot my birthday.
And happy belated birthday, Paul.
But that billboard thing with the Paul was hilarious.
Dude, I was fucking crying, laughing when I saw it. I had a friend of mine, one of my workout buddies, send it to our group chat. And I was like, I have to make a video about this.
It's in Chicago?
No, so this was in like Austria.
It's a billboard
or something
that
like
says,
yeah.
What does it say?
It says, Paul, tell your wife about us, or I will. Oh, and by the way, I'm pregnant.
And yeah,
Happy Valentine's Day.
It's a full billboard. Yeah,
it was on Valentine's Day.
You did a reel about it on Instagram, went viral.
Yeah, and so it's hilarious because when I saw that, I'm like, yo, Paul, I don't know if you know this or not, but go ahead and leave your wife now. That marriage is done. Once she sees this, there's no coming back from that. Yeah. Also, let your job know you quit, because I guarantee the side chick has put notes on everybody's car at your job. She's that scorned right now. So, and then when I saw it, and then I reposted it.
Oh yeah, okay.
So I reposted it when you
when I posted it. Yeah, but I thought that was you. So I don't know what I said when I got that. But anyway, I was like, 2 days later, I'm like, oh, that wasn't even T. And I was like, what the fuck? Anyway, that was funny. T, you've been crushing it since I knew you. And my first contact with you was we were doing a show at Comedy Bar. You were late because you had some car issues. This is not the very first Comedy Bar, but the second one. Yeah. And you had a show. I think it was your show. I think it was T. Murph and Friends. And you were late for it. And they're like, if he's not here in 5 minutes, you got to host it. I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. And then I was like, I was praying for you to show up. And then you showed up and you had your son with you. Yep. And it was like, how old is he now?
Zion is 12. He'll be 13 this year.
Okay. So this has got to be like 8 years ago. So that's, and I'm like, I was like, in my head, I'm like, did he bring his kid to like avoid getting in trouble? Because I think the manager was all pissed you were late. And I was like, that's a great move. You just brought your kid. So you did you do that? I always wanted to ask you.
No, so
something
Zion
happened that time.
So his mom was working at the time, and she was working for a company out in Lombard. So a lot of the times, like, she would have to like commute to home, and the show would start at like Comedy Bar used to be like 7:30.
It was really early. Yeah,
it was like 7:30. She gets off at 7. So it was like a lot of times it was just like it just didn't make sense. Okay. And especially if she had to close, and some days she would forget that, oh, hey, I have a show every Thursday that I'm doing. And so
it was a weekday show or something like that.
Yep. So I would just bring Zion with me most of the times. Because she wouldn't be home already. It's like I'll try to wait for as long as possible, but she's not there.
Yeah.
So I'll bring him, and I would bring him headphones. So he would sit in the back. He'd have headphones on.
Yeah, he'd be in the green room upstairs or wherever.
So most times we would let him sit in the back in the booth. They would bring him a pizza.
That's right. And he just had his headphones on.
Yeah, he had his headphones on, so he didn't have to hear what was going on at the comedy show. And
right.
he had like an iPad, his pizza, and he was kicking it.
Yeah.
And he always tells his friends, like, I used to go to all Dad's comedy shows.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't even know what the hell was going on at the show. Shut up.
Yeah, that was a show that I think you had it, and with Kyle was there. Yep. Our mutual friend is Kyle Scanlon. Mm-hmm. That's how I met you, was through that. And that was the first time I met you in person. I'd always hear about you. I don't know, when did you start? I know you were at Southern Illinois doing comedy with those guys.
So I started doing stand-up in 2010.
Okay.
2010 is when I kicked off. My first time performing was at Kyle Scanlon's open mic.
In Southern Illinois.
In Carbondale, Illinois. He had a open mic that he would host at a place called the Crown Jewel.
Yes.
And
Brown talked about that as well. Yeah.
So I would pop in there. That was my first time ever doing like actual stand-up comedy in front of a live audience. And yeah, that was in August of 2010.
And then what happened? Then you
I fell in love.
Chicago.
Yeah, so I fell in love with stand up, and I knew Little Real from like coming down to SIU and performing several times throughout my tenure there, and so I would like hit him up on Facebook or Instagram. I was like, hey man, I started doing stand up, and I also knew Hannibal because he went to SIU as well. Mm-hmm. So I would just hit people up, and Real.
There's a hot market of comedians from Southern.
Yeah, so Rel would when I would come up to Chicago, he would give me like 5 minutes or whatever at his show on Sundays at Jokes and Notes. And by 2013, man, I decided to make the move up here.
I think I remember you coming down, and then you started getting. Then you started doing, when Jokes and Notes closed, you started doing Laugh Factory more, right?
Yep. So I was doing Laugh Factory. Like I was going up there trying to get passed by Jamie. Oh Lord, back when he used to fly
the open mic.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Was I hosting it when you did the open mic?
I don't even remember who was hosting. I just know that I would get these showcase spots or whatever to like perform in front of Jamie. Mind you, I had already been on TV. I don't know how many times doing stand up, but I have to like perform at the open mic at the Laugh Factory.
5 minutes. He would do the showcase comedians would be at the end. You'd get 3, 5, 7, or 10 minutes.
Yep. And so every time I went up there, it was like notes, and I'm like, I don't want your notes. It was like what
were the notes he gave you?
One time I went on stage, it was fucking freezing in the Laugh Factory. I mean, it was like ridiculously cold. And
it's the open mic.
Yes. Okay. So there was nobody in there, but the air conditioner was on, like it was a packed room. Mm-hmm. And so I go in, I was like, hey man, can you do me a favor and cut the thermostat down from racist to so I'm like you're freezing all the black people out of here. And then I go off into my set. And the first thing Jamie says when he comes up, maybe don't talk about race so much in your set. I said, so much.
That's all you did.
I said one thing because it's fucking freezing in here.
Yeah.
And he was talking. I was just like, all right, man. And then Curtis was like on the side. I was like, I'm not doing this again. I was like, I love you. I appreciate the opportunity, but I'm not doing this, man. Because between that and Zany's, I was like, this is insane.
Yeah, you weren't getting back to Zany's either?
No, I did the showcase at Zany's probably like for like 2 years straight.
For Bert?
So it wasn't even for Bert. I did it for Bert maybe once or twice, and then I had to go to Rosemont and do it for Cindy.
Oh yeah.
And at that time, I booked colleges, so I'm doing 120 plus colleges across the country, but I'm driving to Rosemont to do a 10-minute set.
Spot. Yeah.
And they would always put me at the end. They wanted me to close the show, but I never got any dates.
That's crazy.
And finally, I emailed Bert, and then he told Cindy like what's going on. And she offered me like some feature spots. I was like, yeah. And I didn't know the feature spots were like $50.
Yeah.
So I'm driving from the south side of Chicago
to Rosemont.
Yeah.
That's a far drive.
I was like, this is only the gas to get here.
Yeah.
Especially, what colleges pay.
Right. College. So here's the thing with you. I talked to you about the NACA circuit because when I did music, we used to put our bands in those, and I didn't understand. For me, when they were asking the same bookers that book the music, book the comedians, like, do you want to do it? I was like, number one, doesn't make sense for me because I'm aged out of that. Mm-hmm. And number two, I didn't see the benefit to it until I saw what you did and you explained it to me, which is a fucking great move. all those kids that you were doing 5-7 years ago now are your super fans. They're all like 24, 25. They all followed you at Instagram, and it blew you up.
Yep.
That was such a fucking move that I was so stupid I didn't think that would work.
And a lot of people don't.
And it pays so well. But another thing I didn't know, which I didn't want to do again, was the bad shows. The shows that you're getting $1,500 or $2,000 in fucking, you're playing the Union at a school where they don't know it's comedy. There's 12 people in the audience. 6 of them are studying. As soon as you start doing comedy, they walk away. Like my ego could not handle it.
Dude, trust me,
But then I know I saw some of the ones you did that were fucking awesome.
Yeah, and you have, I mean, there are always like the cafeteria shows.
Yeah.
You know, I did, Penn State has, I believe, 23 campuses, and I did 19 of them. And I would do a show at noon, you know, and as students are walking by, they just see you and they sit down, versus I'll do an 8 o'clock show at a campus where it's literally 90% male, like white Pennsylvania, like they super conservative. And I'm like, oh, like, what do you all study here? And they're like, oh, this is basically like automotive, this whole thing. And again, once they find out you're funny, it's like, this motherfucker's funny. And they're like falling out of their chairs. But at first there's judgment, right? Because they're looking at you like, what the hell are you going to say to us to make us laugh?
Right.
And, you know, as you go through it, I did so many of them, I kind of just, it became second nature, because all you have to do is kind of, you have to nurture them a little bit. You have to talk to them. You have to guide them through it. And
colleges
let them know.
Are tough.
Yeah. And especially when it's like a traditional college. Now, when like with those Penn State campuses, since they were like, you know, most of those students were non-traditional. So they were just coming back, you know, either trying to get their associates or whatever.
Know that.
Yeah. So they were like a commuter campus. But when you have those audiences, you have mostly adults now. So they get it. So I don't have to. You
don't have to work.
I don't have to. You know, I'm just in here actually doing stand-up.
How often are there packed houses for you? Those are you still doing them?
No. So not anymore. Like
when you last did them, were there?
Yeah. So
like 30% of the time were they like?
I did a show
for comedy.
I did a show, and it was, I want to say it was like Maine. And first of all, there were no black people. Like, it's Maine. And it was packed, but it was probably the driest comedy show I've ever done. And it was like one of the very last ones that I did. And I literally only did it for the money.
Right.
Like, it was one of those things where I hadn't did it for a few years. Money came through, and it was just like, all right, cool. And it's this new wave of like super woke kids who like are afraid to laugh at anything.
It's the worst.
And it's like, you know, my comedy, it's not even like, I'm not even like a super dirty or offensive kind, like, but they're in there, they're so tight. And I'm talking to them like, yo, you know, you can loosen the fuck up, right?
It's to me, it's harder to do those shows than the exact opposite. And I don't know what you feel like, because I see that you're doing a lot of the clubs that I do, and I always feel like I think you just did Arizona too, where you look in the crowd, there are those guys with the fucking 10-gallon hats and they're hillbillies or whatever, but they're easier to laugh at. It does kind of suck though, because I feel like sometimes they're laughing for the wrong reasons. Do you ever have that feeling? Like there's certain jokes I do that crush in Iowa and Arizona about being Middle Eastern and shit like that. And I'm like, okay, you're laughing too hard. Like it's kind of, but I mean, our job is to make them laugh.
Yeah. When I started off, initially, I would get like those feelings of uncomfortability, where I would talk about something and it was just like, you know what? I don't like the way that makes me feel as a comic. So I got away from a lot of that material.
Yep.
So now when I do those shows, it's more on a relatability type of thing. So my thing now is like, I'm really focused in and honed in on my kids. So I want to talk about my kids. I want to talk about my family. And the thing that I'm learning as I'm growing my social media is that everybody is raising the same damn kids, like all of us. So as I talk about the struggles that I'm going through with my kids, everybody else is like,
oh, it's relatable.
Like, yo, like you too?
Yeah.
So this is like a guilty pleasure for me. I honestly enjoy performing for a more conservative audience because they don't have that fake ass conscience that everybody is trying to like operate off of now. Like, I don't want to offend
I feel
anybody.
I feel like those people that are so-called progressive sometimes are the most racist people.
Yes.
I got into a fight with someone recently about the whole Gaza, Israel thing. Cause I'm Middle Eastern, but I also have Jewish blood. So it's like, I'm on both sides. And towards the end of the conversation, she's like, "You're racist against brown people." I'm like, "I'm fucking brown. What are you talking about?" Like, I feel like the far right crowds are way better than the far left crowds.
Oh yeah, I have this conversation with my daughter a lot because she's like, this is like the wokest kid I've ever met in my damn life. And I mean, black girl, but loves anime and K-pop. Like, I'm raising an Asian kid. Like, I don't know what's going on right now. But she's
yeah, so you can't say that either.
She's super liberal. And my thing about her was, I was like, love and respect everybody. That is what we're taught.
Right.
I was like, but at the same time, don't let people trick you. I was like, because I lived on the south side of Chicago and I saw those areas get gentrified. I watched it happen. And these same people will move into your neighborhood, price you out, move you out, buy your building or tear your shit down and rebuild. And then as they move you out of the neighborhood, they'll stick a Black Lives Matter sign right in the fucking front yard. And I'm like, that shit doesn't go together. It doesn't. It's not. It matters. Just not over here. Get the
not in my area. Yeah, you guys scare me.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
it's a wild thing, man. So
I lean left, but I also understand the fakeness of it, and I think people on the right call it out, and they think I'm like, yeah, you're right, but let's also not focus. The point is a good concept. They are friendly, but you don't have to be a dick about it. But they are funner crowds. I definitely Florida,
laugh.
Texas.
They laugh.
I love those. I love those crowds.
Like when you get there and they're laughing, you're like, this is what I need.
During the pandemic, I was in Florida a lot, and I could tell you this: what I would say is they laugh hard at the stuff that's making fun of the leftish ideas, and they laugh hard at themselves when I shit on them, because I was making fun of them for not believing in COVID, for being Trump supporters and shit like that, and they're laughing at themselves. They don't get tight. Now, in the Midwest, I will say that I have had like right-wing people interrupt shows at Laugh Factory.
Yeah.
Because they're like, "Fuck you, Trump's great." You're like, okay, so I don't even do politics. But the minute you start mentioning it, they get crazy. And you have a joke like that too.
Yeah. So it's like my Trump jokes like murder everywhere, and that's because my thing is
not political.
I'm poking fun at both sides.
Right. Because
to me, I talk about it on stage. I think they're all shitty people.
Yeah.
They're all liars. They're going to tell you whatever they need to tell you in order to get elected. And then once they get elected, they don't give a shit about you. Yeah. So it's like Trump was fucking funny. That was the only thing. I'm like, I liked him because this motherfucker was hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm like, as a comedian, he gave me unlimited material. Yeah. There was never a day where I didn't have anything to talk about.
Whatever
when it
he
comes to current
said,
events.
He said something crazy.
And then like Joe Biden, on the other hand, it was just like when this motherfucker first got elected, I'm like, is he even gonna make it through the 4 years? You know what I mean? Like we're looking at him like this is
both too old.
Is this an election or a funeral? Like we don't know what the fuck is going on. So just poking fun at both sides for me is where I find a sweet spot. And no matter, I get it more from right-wing people where it's just like, I like how you talk shit about both. When I get the left, they'll laugh, but they won't, bring it up. But they'll laugh hard. But
But it is funny though. Like sometimes I'll do shows, and because I make fun of certain things, people assume that I'm right-wing, especially in Florida, and they'll come talk to you afterwards, and you're just like, okay, no, I'm not. I'm definitely not with you on what you just said.
I get that a lot.
It happens a lot. And you have that joke about Lori Lightfoot, and the first fucking thing people always asked me when she was mayor on any show I was at, if you're like, oh, you're from Chicago, what do you think of Lori? Because she is a target. She was a fucking target. I'm guessing that on Fox News they just led with her every day.
She is, in all honesty, for mayor wise, she was bigger than Rahm Emanuel, because it was like she
created it. She made herself the topic.
Yes, and it was one of those things where it's like, all right, I'm going to, like, she went toe to toe with Trump.
Right.
So it's like when you look at states and you look at mayors, there was nobody who was doing that, and I mean, especially in a worldwide pandemic.
Yeah.
So the news has nothing else to. Yeah. So it was
her
one of those
strategy
things.
was like, people were like, all right, crime's going up and everything like this, and she's like, Trump, keep our city out of your mouth. Like, we're not even talking about Trump. We're talking about issues in Chicago. Just address this. But she wanted she tried to overcome it, and I thought it was funny. But you have that joke, and when you do that, I was like, man, I wonder if when he does that joke in Arizona and shit, they're probably laughing for
they're
the wrong
laughing.
reasons.
They're
still
laughing. DC was laughing. Like, no matter where I go, it's like I can just bring her up and I test the waters. Even in LA, people are like, oh, I'm like, this is fucking crazy. Yeah. That you know our mayor.
Everyone knows her or knew her. Yeah. When I did a show on her on election day, remember it was like tied. It was like 50-50 and people were out. It was a sold out show. And then I go, I'm going to address this. I go, hey, and I did a clip about it. I thought it was one of those moments we were talking about before. I was like, oh, this is going to fucking be awesome. Because I just said, oh, we got a new mayor. And everyone's like, who is it? Because it was like tied. I'm like, I go, it's tied. So you know what that means. Lori's our mayor again. Yeah. And everyone just, I go, I wrote her in. It's the only thing we all agree on. And then everyone fucking went nuts. And I was like, oh, this is going to go viral. Nothing.
Oh, my God. Well, that's the internet.
Yeah. So now, speaking of being on the road, like, what are you doing after shows now? Because are you traveling with people that you know, or are you by yourself?
So this last show, I took Calvin with me. So Calvin was Calvin was good enough to go out and host. So we're doing a 2-man show, and that's honestly the way I like it now. To take people that I know are like
makes it better,
gonna be funny. You know, I know their stand up. For me, that's the best thing to do. I don't really go out in cities. I'll hit the gym. You know, that's my therapy now. I like to work out consistently and daily. But I took Calvin to the Arlington Draft House with me.
Oh, DC, yeah.
Yeah, he did 25 minutes up top, and then I come behind him. I do an hour, and people left satisfied and love the show.
Such a good show.
Yeah, I've done other shows where I've had openers that I don't know, and
it's a risk every time.
I've received negative reviews on my Live Nation account from people that I don't like, from hosts or feature, and I'm like, I don't even fucking know these people.
Sometimes they think you travel with the person, and they're like, oh, so where are you guys going next? I'm like, first of all, don't put me in. I don't know this person. I don't know this person.
One review said the worst show I've ever seen. First show I've ever wanted to or walked out of, and that means they left before I even got to the stage. Yeah. And this had nothing to do with me.
I hate that feeling.
And I'm like, I don't know these people. So now I have a 1 star because these people sucked.
Yeah.
or because
it's your name.
Or because the opening act was offensive. Or I had one guy go up and fucking he was doing 25, and 20 of his 25 was just him talking about his dick and fucking, and I was just like, I'm talking about my kids on this tour.
Yeah. Like, and not just that, like, people just got into the show. Bro, as a host, you don't just start with like cum jokes and shit
right out the gate. And I mean, it was Sunday.
Smart.
It was Sunday, bro.
People just got here from church.
Sunday in the Bible Belt. Like, what the fuck are you doing, man? I'm just like, I'm sitting backstage. I'm like, this is horrible.
Yeah.
But everybody doesn't know how to host. Right. So,
it's a different skill set.
Yeah. So for me, it's like I'm starting to take money out of my own pocket just to be like, yo, can I get somebody that I know?
It makes the show better.
To come, 100%. They know how to host. They know how to, pivot into their set. And then now they bring me up. Yeah. And it's a great show. But when I have to fucking follow dick jokes with, yo, so my son's 8. like what's happening right now?
I do think that when you're doing a 2-man show, on the other side of that, it fucking sucks sometimes. Because I'll be on the road doing these theater shows as an opener for a bigger act. And the first 5-10 minutes is the hardest.
Oh, yeah.
But you got Calvin Evans doing that. I mean, that guy's a fucking...
Yeah. And he always gets them. Recently, I was on the road with Corey Holcomb. And I was it was me.
Oh, yeah, you're doing those too.
Yeah, so it was me, Marvin Phipps, and then Corey. So Marvin will middle, I'll host. And then Corey goes up and does an hour. And I would just come right out the gate. And, of course, like the audience, they may have seen me on this podcast once or twice, but they don't know me for stand-up. Right. So it's like, as there people are still, like, trickling in, getting seated or whatever, they're kind of looking at you.
Lights are still on sometimes.
Yeah. And I'm doing 20-25, and then they start to finally, they're like, oh, okay, no, you're funny. You're funny. But that's the benefit of having someone who has been through the Chicago scene. Working at the Jokes and Notes, working at the bar and grills and the laugh factories, you get it.
It's a different skill set. You go to different cities, and Justin and I were talking about being in a city recently where it's like it's outlaws. You go on a show in certain cities, and there's like 5 comedians that have clearly been doing it for 2-3 years, and then you got to go up and fix whatever mess took place on a showcase show. And I know you. I mean, shit. we would do that at Laugh Factory all the time, where people would start walking out. You're closing the show, or I'm closing the show, or whatever. We're at the end, and you're just like, people are walking out. Yep. You're like, dude, read the room, man.
Yeah. Well, the internet has changed a lot of that.
People are doing their homework.
Yeah. So they are doing their homework, but what I will say is the internet fucked a lot of comics early because it blows you up so fast, right? And if you're not, an experienced comedian, and you get bookers or agents or managers or whoever coming at you saying, hey man, you could sell tickets.
We'll put you up.
You're working a fucking 9 to 5. You don't have any money, and they're like, "Fuck it, all right, cool. How much can I get, dude? We'll give you $1,500." They don't know the fucking agent is getting $3,500 and keeping $2,000, but $1,500 versus it's like whatever. I'll do it.
It's short sighted,
and they go and do it, and they don't realize how hard stand up comedy is. And I'm seeing it a lot now with these guys who are on these like popular podcasts. Or fucking, just viral comedians, and they're going to clubs to do hours, and they're fucking themselves bad.
The pro side is their fans are having a good show. They're selling tickets to the club. It's good for comedy in that short term, right? Mm-hmm. But the minute they're in a position where they're performing with people that have been doing it for 10 years, they're exposed, right?
Yeah, instantly.
They can see that there's no shortcut for what we do. And that stuff comes apparent. Well, if you're doing the NACA festival, you're doing those college fests, you learn really fast how to fucking adjust when shit's not going right. Mm-hmm. And when people are used to just an echo chamber, they're in a city where everything's working. The minute they step out of their comfort zone, they're like, oh shit, why isn't this working? And you have to have that skill set to be able to move to the next level. Mm-hmm. Or you get the check drop comes, you're like, oh fuck. Mm-hmm. You got to deal with it.
Yeah.
And so there's...
It's getting bad. I was in Austin. Me and Amy Shanker. Amy Shanker did Austin. So
that's the city I was talking about.
We did Cap City. We did Cap City, and I was in my Uber, and the guy was like, "Oh man, what do you got going on?" And I was like, "Oh man, I'm just fucking going. I'm here to perform a comedian." I'm like, "Oh, he's a comedian?" He's like, "I'm like, yeah." He's like, "Oh, you doing fucking Kill Tony?" And I was like, No, absolutely not. Like, I know Tony fucking, I think it's a hilarious comedian. Yeah. I'm like, but there's no way I'm getting on a podcast and letting motherfuckers judge me off.
He told me not to do his show once.
Yeah. I was like, why the fuck?
Like, you don't need to do this.
Why the fuck would I do that to him? I'm like, I do this thing called stand-up comedy. Like, I'm a comedian. Yeah. I'm here to headline. But the guy was telling me that he feels that comedy right now, especially in Austin, is getting to a point where they're just curating a ton of comics to say a lot of wild shit with no punchline.
It's the Outlaws, right? Like, I did a show where there was comedians. Every comedian before me, I was on a showcase show at one of the clubs there. Mm-hmm. Every comedian before me said either the R word or the F word, and it wasn't even a punchline or it was just to be shocking,
just to say it.
And I mean, it's like, I guess we did that when we were starting. I don't think I did. I mean, I have a joke about my mom's name being Nagar, which is a true story.
Right.
And it was a shock value of it that was funny, but I never, it was part of a punchline.
But it's also
just
honesty.
Using the N word.
It's honesty in that joke. Yeah. So it's like, for me, you don't say something that doesn't like have a place or a meaning or a reason to be said. So, I had this conversation with a good friend of mine, Tone Bell. Tone currently lives in Austin.
He lives in Austin, yeah. He hung out with him with Amy when I was out there.
And me and him talked, and it was one of those things where it was like when I first started, like just in general conversation, like I say nigga. Like that's just how but that's how I grew up. But in my stand-up, it was one of those things where it was like, it would kind of roll off. It was like I would be in rooms where there weren't any black people, and I find myself saying, and I was just like, yeah, wait, nah, this isn't.
Well, people are going up to you probably being like, you're Middle Eastern. Why are you saying that?
People definitely think I'm Middle Eastern, especially when I went to Dubai. Are you Muslim? I was like, no, but you look Muslim.
No, I'm just fucking with you.
But no, so it would just be people, like I had a white guy come to me afterwards, and he said it, just talking to me, and I was just like, that part what you said, and I was like, I can't. And so Tone Bell told me, he was just like, look, bro, he was like, I may say it once in a set. He was like, and that's if it's necessary for the joke, but for the most part, I don't say it. And after that, it's just like, when I'm at my shows or you see me at the Laugh Factory, pay attention to my set. You don't hear it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, because when I look out into that audience, who am I talking to?
Right.
So why am I utilizing that word?
If you're in a
term?
black room,
and it's like
more conversational.
Yeah, and even then, it's like it may be once or twice throughout an hour-long set, but it's not going to be just nigga. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
That's one of those situations too for me when I would do my mom's name joke. I would do that joke and they would be laughing for the wrong reasons. Sometimes like, I don't want to do this joke anymore because the way it made me feel. And I was like, and then I'd be like, I came to the point where I have that on my first special on my dry bar, but they cut out the callback, which is the only funny part of the fucking joke. But they're like, it was too offensive. I'm like, it's more offensive now. But anyway, I added a part of the joke. I'm like, I just want to remind you that that's my word for my mom. You're not allowed to call it.
No, I remember
so
that.
Don't come up to me after the show and say that.
Yeah.
And so that was like, that felt vindication for it. But I remember like my mom would post on my Facebook and people would be like, oh my God, it's really her name. I'm like, you think I fucking made up a fucking surreal world where I can just say the almost N-word? It's but it's
that's
such
the thing
a weird
with comedians.
Thing.
People always think it's fake.
Yeah.
It's a facade. It's made up. And I'm just like,
it's not as funny if it is. Yeah.
This is my real life.
But yeah, I do think there's a weird thing going, and I think that, you know, for more power for the Austin community, I think they're doing good things for comedy too. Like they're creating this scene there, but there is no I don't think there's a shortcut. I could be wrong, but I just think you get exposed at some point, and that happens. I think you'll see that on showcase shows more, especially if you're doing shows at the Comedy Store or Laugh Factory in Chicago too. I think
it's not even just going to be showcase shows. It's going to be some of these shows where they're headlining, and people audiences are not as forgiving, especially when they're paying, you know, inflated ticket prices.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I think those people still come out. I did a show, I did a music or a comedy festival, and a couple of those guys who are Kill Tony guys, they packed it in, and they, to their credit, I did a show where if that one of the guys wasn't on the show, I would have been doing a show for 20 people, and then he brought another 35, so we had a full room.
Yeah. I mean, I think comedy's kind of in a bubble right now. That's kind of what I feel, and I feel like it's eventually going to burst. Like I'm
definitely going to burst.
I'm seeing people go down in flames left and right, and I'm just sitting back like, hey, it's, you know, because you have to have some type of just, I don't even know the word I want to use here, but you have awareness. You have to have some type of awareness, especially when you're on stage. You know, and for me, it's one of those things where, of course, being funny is the goal, but at the same time, you know, saying things and having it, you know, be meaningful, or having a reason to say it, or having a punchline at the end of something that I'm saying. I'm not just going to say something just to say it.
Yeah, it's got to be funny.
Yeah.
Your post shows, you're on the road. What are you doing after the show? You don't drink?
Nope.
Did you ever drink?
Never.
Okay. So you didn't even drink after. I don't drink anymore. After shows, you're wired. How long does it take for you can't fall asleep for how long?
No, man. Honestly, after a show, shit, I can go right to sleep because
really?
I'm doing 2 back to back.
Oh, that's true.
So it's like, you know, I'll work out during the day, you know, come back, kind of chill. I don't eat before the show.
Me neither.
So, you know, so I'll go. First show is at 7:30 or 8 o'clock or whatever, you know, do an hour, and I'm doing an hour 7, sometimes hour 10. Clubs are getting pissed off because I'm going over, but it's like, I'm working. It's fun.
Yeah.
And then, you know, roll around 10. I'm not on stage again until about 10:45. So I'm doing another hour, and shit, by the time the show's over, I'm like, all right, I'm done. I am exhausted because, like I said, I worked out. I'll do the 2 shows, and then I'll eat after the
second show.
Yeah, and I'm just
so what do you do? So I do the same thing, and obviously I gained a shit ton of weight because of that. How are you? You're working out during the day, but are you just, when you wake up, you don't eat for a while afterwards?
Yeah, so I intermittent fast.
Okay.
Yep. So I intermittent fast. So on the road, it's like I may have like a shake, you know, a protein shake or whatever, and then, you know, a protein bar or whatever. But I don't eat a ton before the show. Like sometimes if I don't eat late at night, I'll do breakfast around noon or 1, and then, like I say, just kind of stick to my regimen. But that's how I'm like maintaining. You know?
Are you bringing food with you on the road? Because some of these places don't have things open late, especially if you're trying to eat healthy.
Well, I take protein bars with me and stuff like that on the road. So I like.
But after meal, you're not after a show. You're not eating a protein bar.
No, so I buy them in bulk and I take those with me. But at the club, make me something. So I did like some of their wings one night, and then I think it maybe like.
So you're not super healthy.
No, and I did like a chicken sandwich or something like that. As long as I'm getting like a nice amount of protein, but like no, like I'm not like going green or shit like that. Like I'm actually eating food.
Were you a night person as a kid, or were you like?
Yeah.
What were you doing late at nights when you were a kid?
Sitting up watching Emmanuel on Cinemax. What are you talking about? Real sex on HBO. Living a fucking kid life.
I remember that.
You know, dry humping the couch, doing what kids do, man.
Hell yeah,
Come
that's
on.
the way you do it. I didn't know you had that stuff in Southern Illinois.
I grew up in Kankakee, Illinois, so that's where I'm from. Yeah,
I call that Southern. Anything south of Champaign, I call it. Or no, Champagne's anything south of Chicago.
Yeah, so Kankakee, for the people that don't know, Kankakee is about 50 minutes away from Chicago. So my grandma,
it's like an hour.
No, it's not.
Really?
Literally
from
can get
the
there.
south side of Chicago.
Yeah, 45 minutes.
Okay,
I can get there. So, so my grandmother, my father lived on 107th and Wallace. So that's where they. And I lived in Kankakee. Had cousins on 58th and Lafayette, so I would be over there all the time. And then my aunt, I used to live on 64th and Cottage Grove. So yeah, and then I moved when I became an adult. I moved to 64th and Woodlawn, which is like a couple blocks over.
It's all south side.
Yeah, so
south of Congress is all the same.
So yeah, but I was always like back and forth between the city of Chicago and Kankakee. So that's just So it was never like a far thing to me.
Were you, when you were a kid though? What were you doing? You weren't drinking. Were you going out doing anything? Like
so I was like a skating rink kid. So I would go to the skating rink, every weekend. We had a place in Kankakee called the Elks Lounge. So like my teenage years, I would like go there and hang out, and then like from 10 to 2 in the morning, they had parties or whatever. So that'd be a place that we go. The bowling alley, do cosmic bowling. Late at night, everybody would go and hang out at the bowling alley until midnight. They had cosmic bowling.
Were you the only one in your friend group that didn't drink, or were you just all kind of pretty clean?
I mean, I had friends that were drinking. I had friends that were smoking. I tried to smoke for like a little while. It was like one summer. Shit was trash. I don't like the way it made me feel.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people that like hallucinate off of weed, and I'm like, I don't think this is for me.
Yeah, you want to stay pure for your Muslim faith. That's 2 references now. I only do that because you told me that story about being at the gym where someone told you that they thought you were.
He was talking to me for so long. He was having a whole conversation with me. It was an Indian guy, right? He's fucking. He works out in like dress shorts and a fucking and a polo shirt, like a real fucking polo. And I mean, he just walking around gold chains and shit on, gold watch. And he walks up. He's like, "What's going on, man?" And I'm like, chilling. He's like, "Okay, man, all right." He's like, "See you in here all the time, looking good, man." I'm like, "Oh, thank you, man." And he's like, "So where you from?" And I'm like, "Here." He's like, No. Like where? I'm like, Kankakee. He's like, No. Like, Middle East. Where are you from? I was like, what? And I was like, No. I'm not Middle Eastern. He goes, what? And he literally pulls his fucking sleeve up and he like puts it next to my skin. He goes, no. And I'm like, nah, man.
He's like, me.
He's like, oh man, I thought the beard. Okay, all right. But I'm just like, that shit is wild.
See, like, but I think it's more wild to me that like all my friends. I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago. We all Midwest, I think, drinks more than anywhere else in the world. Mm-hmm. We just drink a lot, and it was an exception to the norm if you didn't drink.
Right.
And so, like, that's what I'm trying to figure out. If you guys were at the bowling alleys or doing all this shit, and you're just like, nah, I don't drink.
Yeah. So, I mean, I had people, like I say, all of my friends, they.
And Calvin's the same way too. He never drank.
So I had friends that drink, but the thing is, so it's like my mother, right? I was raised by my mom. She met my stepfather when she was like 6 years old, or when I was 6 years old, or whatever. And like he would drink. Like his drink of choice is Hennessy. That's what he would like. He would keep my bottle or whatever. It would be in the refrigerator or whatever. Like, hey, that was his drink of choice. He would keep, like, he loves cognac, so he would have it in the fridge or whatever. That was it. Didn't really do beers or anything like that. Just a little some Hennessy. And like my mom didn't drink though. I'm around my mom most of the time, and I never see her drink. I never see her smoke. So it's just like that was kind of a thing where it's like, and I didn't really know my biological father, so I don't know what the fuck he did, but I was like, I don't do it. Mm-hmm. And then I had uncles who were like alcoholics. So I would see these, like, they would be.
On your mom's side, you mean?
Yeah. So they would be like fucked up. And
that scare you?
Yeah, it was like I don't.
What about in college though? Like all your friends are drinking then too, and you just were like.
So I would see people like I would see people like falling over, throwing up and shit. Like we're out kicking it, you like passed out, or you get your ass whooped by some random guy because you're not aware of your surroundings and shit like that. And it's like, nah, I can't. I'm not finna get fucked up by like just not talking crazy and don't know what the fuck happens. Somebody knocks me out or lose a tooth or some shit. And then I see people like praying over the toilet, basically. Right. Like,
and I think that's funny you say that because you brought up awareness before too, and I think that is important for comedy for twofold. Number one, when you're sober, you're more aware. I used to drink before I went on stage because I needed it because I was for nerves. But then I saw my set and I noticed how I was just not fucking aware of what's going on. And after that, I'm like, I'm never drinking on show before a show again. And you have that self-awareness of what's going on in the show. And I feel like then I stopped drinking and I was like, oh my God, like I get so much more done when I'm not hungover, when I'm not dealing with shit. And you're also aware of your conversations after a show, which I think is important too.
I would even go as far as to say this is just more of a people thing outside of just comedy, because if you're I don't want to call it an awkward, but if you're just an unaware person in general, as a comedian, it's going to be 10 times worse. I have people who like, I'll show up to shows out of town, and it's just because we're cool or we've met once, I'll get to a show and they're in my fucking green room. Yeah, like they're just already there. I didn't invite you. I didn't tell you to come to the show. They're not even on the show. No, they're just in the green room. Oh dear. Oh, God. I knew you were coming, bro. So I knew some people at the club, so I just got it, and it's like, what? I walk in here drinking my Fiji waters and shit, eating my fucking fruit plate. and then you just, oh my God. And then as a comedian, like for me, before I go on stage, I don't drink, I don't smoke. So I kind of like to get into my little Zen mode. I already know what I'm going to say on stage. My thing about performing is I never really just have a set. Like I know the things that I want to talk about, but like a specific order. Now I like to kind of just go through and feel the room. So I'm just back there just getting my zen, and you won't stop fucking talking to me. Oh, it's the worst. Like you won't stop. Like it's gotten to the point where people in my green room, where they were talking to me so much, I left the green room. Yeah. I went into the showroom. Yeah. I'll go sit in the fucking showroom because what are you doing? Right. But that's because this person isn't aware. They're not paying attention. Yeah. They're not looking at the cues that you're putting on. Social cues. Right. It's like, yo, man, I don't want to talk right now. You are going to force me to fucking spaz out, and I don't want to do that before I go on stage, because if I do that before I go on stage, now it's going to make my performance awkward. Yeah, because now my energy levels are off. It fucks up the whole vibe of the weekend or whatever too. I get it. Yeah, that's fucked up. Yeah, I don't. It's never gotten to that point to me, but I always I don't like to talk to people, but I also don't want them to be like think I'm being an asshole. But I'm also like I just don't want to. Yeah. And it happens so much now. Oh yeah, I think COVID, and Calvin and I talked about this too, where I think after COVID, people just forgot how to talk to people in real life, and the younger people are on their phones all the time too, so they don't have social skills as it is. So it's just it's the end of the world. Hell yeah, it's the end of the world. I learned something from Sashir Zamata. Oh yeah, and she's fucking great at this, like ending conversations with people. Because some people are very awkward when it comes to just normal conversation, as you said, and they don't know when to stop. So it's like, as a comedian, you perform, you do your job, you're fucking funny. After the show, people want to talk to Paul. They may even want a picture. They don't know how to ask for a picture. They'll stand there with their phone out and they'll just fucking start talking to you. And they're going. And she's so good. She'll be like, hey, do you want to get a photo? And they're like, oh yeah, we can get, that's what I want. And she'll like kind of get them out of that, and take control of the conversation, get the picture, or even if they're just talking, and then she's like, oh my God, so no, thank you so much, really appreciate you. We got to get up out of here, and it's just like, okay, yeah. Because or there's a line of people that are waiting to buy merch, and you're just like, dude, like stop talking. You gotta go. You need handlers for that. Yeah, shit. So but that's something that she taught me, just to be able to get people to wrap it up, man, because some people don't know how to stop. I do like talking to people after shows, especially like when there's a connection to something they want to talk to you about. I always give people their time. They fucking got a babysitter. They came out to see me. I don't mind that at all. I want to make that clear. But the other comedians that are coming into your green room, I didn't have that situation. But you're like, weird. Or they're asking you questions about stuff. I had a guy ask me questions, but then he wouldn't answer. He wouldn't hear my answer. He's just talking. He's like, it felt like he was trying to impress me by asking the good questions about comedy clubs. It's like, I heard this. I'm like,
well, yeah. And then he just cut me off. I'm like, why, are you asking me a question, or you just want to name drop all these?
He's talking
club
at
owners. Yeah, it's talking at me. It's just like, come on, dude.
Yeah, he's not talking to you. He's talking at you. And as you talk, he's like, get the fuck out of here. I don't want to hear this shit.
And you do a good job too of that, of creating boundaries, I feel like. And I do it we're on showcases. There's 80 people in a room.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't, especially now, I don't know a lot of the newer comics. So you just sit in your car. I saw you doing that a couple times. Like, that's a great fucking idea.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if I don't sit in my car, I'll go upstairs and I'll sit in the room with Chris.
Oh yeah, that's a good. That's a safe space.
I go in there with Chris because
the sound guy. Yeah.
Yeah, because I fuck with Chris. I like Chris.
Yeah.
Me and Chris have dope conversations. And some people, again, like I say, when they know you as a comic and you're doing whatever they think is the next level type shit or whatever, they get to kind of like, they'll ask you questions, and I don't mind answering questions, but when it turns into like a full on fucking interview, I'm like, all right, man, I don't want to.
We're both working.
I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Like what? I'm getting the
do you have
same money you're getting
for Comedy Central.
It's like, come on, man, come on.
Can you give me your manager's name? You think he's looking for? Yeah, dude, that's it's in the city though. What do you do? Are you still a night owl? Like when because you have kids now?
Yeah, so I have
like
kids
an adult.
now. Yeah, and I bought a house, man. So for me now, it's like I am a night owl, but it's more so in the house.
What are you doing at night? Are you creative at night? Like writing?
So yeah, I will come up with ideas. Are you
looking up cameras?
I am. I'm looking up stuff to film and produce content. I'm shooting sketches, or not sketches, but just straight to camera videos. If it comes to me, I'm like, I got to get this out, or doing a voiceover. And the other thing, like, I'll sit up and I'll play fucking Calvin and Brown until fucking 1 a.m. in the morning. And Brown gets off earlier. He quits. He's a fucking quitter. But Calvin, we'll sit up till 1:30 in the morning fucking playing NBA 2K.
I've seen you guys playing. Yeah. Calvin and I were rehearsing something once, and you guys were playing.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty insane.
Yeah. So that's
not productive.
That's my go-to. That's also like, man, that's how I unwind.
Yeah.
So I have my little man cave in the house, which is the basement, and I'll go down there and I got my 70-inch or whatever, and I'm just like, I put it in the basement. I'm just chilling, man.
I feel like that's a downfall of society. I feel like I also have addictive personality. So when I got hooked on Madden when I was in law school, and it just my grades pummeled because I was like,
you're focused
up till 4 a.m. sometimes. I'm like, I have got to figure out this play, and I just waste so much time and energy.
Oh yeah, you look up, it's been 2.5, 3 hours.
It's the worst.
Your ass is sweating. It's like
I might as well be dry humping to Emmanuel, dude. It's the unproductive thing in the world.
But it's so fun, and it's so competitive because most dudes were competitive as shit.
I'm very
so it's like the things that I can do on there. I'm not doing this shit in real life.
Yeah.
But I get Damian Lillard and fucking Giannis Antetokounmpo, and I'm a whoop your ass on that game, man.
Your eyes light up when you talk about this more than when you talk about your kids, to be honest.
Hey, man, I whoop my kids' ass on this game. All of my kids have a PlayStation 5, except for the 2-year-old. All of them.
Okay. How many kids do you have?
I have 5.
Jesus Christ.
I have 5 kids, so they all have a PS5. And so I play my older sons. They're twins. They're currently in college right now. But we'll sit in the house and play NBA 2K. So but they can't play on my system though. So they have to stream from their room. I'm like, because you disrespect your controllers, and you will not fuck up my controller and have it like floating, like my player's floating to one side. So no, like, because my son gets like, he threw my controller, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with you? He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, no, fuck, sorry. You owe me $80. You got a job. This is your controller now. Buy me a new one, because I don't throw my shit. But I was beating him by like 25, and he got mad, and he was like, I know the chair went backwards. No, motherfucker, you threw my controller. So, but I like
yelling at your kids for
because you're breaking my shit.
Yeah, but like, they're also being competitive. You gotta appreciate.
Yeah,
that.
no rage quitting on my equipment. That's why they got to play in their room now. I'm like, you send me a request from your system, and then we can play house. And we can stream.
This is the downfall of society.
Hey, man,
and then you wonder why kids can't communicate.
Hey, I spend quality time with my kids on that game. Let me tell you. We talk
streaming.
Shit. We talk shit streaming. Through the microphone.
Yeah, on a microphone, streaming.
Yeah. My son's like, you got it, Dad. I'm like, I know I got it, loser.
These poor kids. They're not going to do comedy, are they?
No. My kids don't want to be comedians. One of them he's going to college to be an anesthesiologist.
Okay.
Yes, and then the other one wants to do mechanical engineering.
Wow.
So yeah, I raised 2 Middlewestern kids.
So you looked up the top paying jobs like engineer.
Yep. So I
started.
So when I was in college, I was a barber for a long time.
Yeah, I do.
So I used to cut guys that were like CRNA, certified registered nurse anesthetist, and they would make $250,000 a year. And one guy I knew would work 6 months out of the year, and then he would tour the world for the other 6 months. Yeah. He gave me all the information on like being a CRNA. So this is right when I started to do stand-up. It was one of those things where it's like, do I want to do this or do I want to go this way? Yeah. And there was like an accelerated program where you could get it in like 4.5 years. I was like, I don't know. He's like, look, man, I'm telling you, this is the accelerated program. And I was figuring it out. I also had a guy that was a trauma surgeon. I used to cut his hair. He paid me $120 for a haircut.
Jesus Christ.
I asked him, why would he do that? He goes, that's what I make per hour. And so I would pass this information on to my kids, and they listen. My daughter doesn't give a shit about any of that. She wants to work for the FBI. I was trying to push her in the medical field. She's like, I can't do blood. I got 4 sons, 3 of which either want to be, like I say, in engineering or a doctor.
No lawyers?
No lawyers. Huh. No lawyers. I see it.
This one's Calvin's made fun of. He said they're all fake. Fucking piece of shit. We're out of time. We went way over. I'm sorry, T. I took too much of your time.
It's all good.
T, where can people find out? Where your new stuff coming up? Where people can see find out about your tours, your shows, and upcoming projects and stuff.
Look, so you can just follow me on all social media platforms at @Murph. If you're on Instagram, do that. If you're on TikTok, do that. If you're on Facebook, do that. I'm also on Snapchat. I'm a Snap star on Snapchat. Yeah,
T, thank you so much. Seriously, appreciate it. Thank you all for watching another episode of Why Are You Awake? Go to sleep.